happened to all the posts about the LA fire?
Third arrest that is coming.
Don't talk too much about nines.
You don't talk about nines.
I don't need to call 911. He's okay. Like,
How do you know?
because I'm from New York.
I want to talk about one of the darkest videos I've seen. This is a backup astronaut watching the spaceship she was almost on, the Challenger, explode. I cover a lot of stuff that's morbid but interesting, and this is Barbara Morgan. She was actually the runner-up in a search to find a teacher to put on the Challenger. Krista McAuliffe was ultimately the woman who won, but Barbara still went through all the training because if anything happened to Krista, it was going to be Barbara on the ship. Now, the day of the actual launch, someone filmed Barbara watching from 3 miles away. In this video, we don't see her face and we don't even actually see the Challenger explode, but from the start, she said she knew something was wrong. And then you see a point in the video where those fears are very much confirmed and people realize that the ship did explode. Extreme cold weather from the night before damaged the ship and it exploded 73 seconds after it took off. And probably the most devastating part of this whole thing is some of the astronauts were most likely alive after it exploded and fell to their deaths still inside of the ship. But what's really amazing is this whole event inspired Barbara even more to become an astronaut, which she ultimately did do.
Oh, wow. I actually did not know that the teacher ended up becoming an astronaut even after what happened. Man, that would definitely scare me enough that I'd be like, maybe I shouldn't get on any spaceships. But this teacher did the things, and now they tell her she's an astronaut. Welcome back, goons. You're watching Explore the Weird. Hey, guess what? I got some more creepy, strange, weird For You page content. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's go to the mountain. Yeah.
One of the most famous was the Michelson-Morley experiment in 1887.
No, tell us about that.
Well, they used light beams to measure whether the Earth was moving, and they found that there was no movement. The Earth has to be moving 30 kilometers per second to complete its annual revolution, and they found out that it wasn't moving in a very precise. Michelson could have calculated it to 1/100th of what he got in his experiment. That's how sensitive his instruments were.
What did the experiment involve in terms of apparatus, so we can get a concrete understanding of
well,
what they
if
found?
if the Earth is moving around the sun, and we shoot that light beam in the direction that the Earth is moving, okay, and then we shoot another light beam perpendicular to that, well, the one that's in the direction of the Earth's movement should be impeded in some way if it's moving through space, whereas this one is going perpendicular would not be impeded.
Why not?
Because it's not going through space. It's just going north and south.
Okay.
Okay? And what they found, they expected to have a 30-kilometer difference between these two light beams. There was no difference. So the natural interpretation, and even Einstein admits this, Mach admits this, Born admits this, the natural interpretation is that the Earth isn't moving. So how do we get out of that? Well, you invent special relativity. And now you say, well, the reason that light beam wasn't affected when it went toward the motion of the Earth is because the apparatus shortened.
Huh?
Yeah, Michelson's apparatus shortened as it was going with the Earth in its orbit around the sun.
No, wait, you're telling me that the contraction of mass
Yes.
was invented to explain away the results of the Michelson-Morley experiment?
Yes, and that's what my book will tell you, and it's been admitted by all the scientists.
Okay, I did not know that this is how gravity was invented, but what really makes you think that, hey, they're definitely lying to us. We're definitely in a standstill, and maybe we're the center, and everything else revolves around the Earth. Yeah, and they just made up this in order to make sure it fits the narrative of the sun being the center. Imagine it is just us, and we are the standing point, and that's why all the planets align towards... All right, very interesting. We're going to keep it going.
Third arrest that is coming. There's 2 that's already down. There's a raid that's about to go on. And on top of that, it's somebody that has something to do with an affidavit that I have already released. I am telling you, we know that it's coming. I knew it was coming when I made sure there were sworn and legal affidavits already ready 6 to 8 months ago. I'm telling you right now that they're about to grab them and they're about to announce it. When they announce it, we got a problem. We got a big problem. Because there's ways that this is about to go I think a lot of you guys are everybody's like, we're ready. We're ready until it's happening. And then everybody's like, well, I wasn't ready. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of that.
There's no other way to get ready. There's no other way to prepare. There's no protocol for what's about to happen. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it. Ask questions. Demand answers. There is a...
Wait, the last one was fires, and there's definitely been fires. Oh my god, she was telling the things before the things even happened. She knew what was going on. I wonder what it's gonna be that's like gonna cause us to collapse, that none of us are prepared for it. I feel very well prepared. Hey, I got a wife that's a doomsday prepper. She's as prepared as we can be. All right, let's keep it going. I feel like Ali has definitely been telling us the truths. I wonder who it's going to be that's going to be the next like arrest or whatever she's indicating, because she says it's someone big that we wouldn't even expect.
Warning, we may now be seeing the final days of Alabama Barker, as many are terrified that her life is in danger now, and she will not be able to run away from this. People were terrified after Alabama Barker, daughter of Travis Barker, was recently rushed in the middle of the night to the hospital after facing serious alleged nicotine withdrawals, but many are claiming that this is very unlikely and that something much more sinister is happening right as we speak, as Alabama Barker has made it very clear, leaving a haunting warning that she wants to rise in the industry and she may now be doing anything at all costs to get there, with eerie claims of very strange things that happen every time someone joins the Kardashian family, as Travis Barker was also recently rushed to the ER for severe life-threatening pancreatitis after marrying Kourtney.
This story about Alabama Barker needing to be hospitalized over nicotine withdrawals is very suspicious, just like her father was hospitalized right after marrying Kourtney. Like, are y'all seeing a correlation here?
And the reports allege that Kris Jenner might be the one behind all of this to divert attention from other family scandals.
Bro, oh my god. Oh my god, what if it's the Kardashians that are the ones that are gonna be the arrest that Ali was telling? Sorry, I'm spiraling. I'm trying to figure out who the next arrest is gonna be, and I'm like, yo, Kardashians actually making sense that we're always involved with the dead. Sorry. Okay, so, Alabama Barker, you be careful. This is a family that the men who interact with the family, bad things happen to them. I don't know why, but it keeps happening. I feel like they could be cursed. You be careful, Alabama. You be careful.
Don't talk too much about nines.
Why you don't talk about nines?
Because every other numerologist about them is wrong. For instance, the books and the websites, they all say nines are humanitarians. Is Joseph Stalin a fucking humanitarian? Put 50 million people in the ground. Is Heinrich Himmler, the guy who ran the SS, the guy who put people in concentration camps, is he a humanitarian? Not all nines are humanitarians. Some are, just like anyone else. You have to be very, very careful about the numerology in books, on websites. If it's free, it's most likely free for a reason, because it has no value.
GG33 on his hat. What does that mean? GG33? Should it be GGG333? I don't know. These are the right questions. I've seen other clips of this guy. He's really into numerology, so I'm assuming the nines indicate something to him, that he's like, be careful of the nines. Hey, some people like some numbers, some people don't like other numbers, so it's up to you to decide which numbers are good and which numbers are bad. Hey, I like all the numbers. I accept all the numbers for what they are.
In the early days of Christianity, there was a group of hardcore believers called the Stylites, and they proved their faith by living on top of pillars, sometimes for years at a time. They had a little bucket with a rope to bring up their food and to send down their business. The most renowned was Simeon the Stylite, who lived on top of a pillar for 36 years near Aleppo, Syria, an act of faith which helped earn him sainthood. Inspired by Simeon the Stylite, a monk named Wolflake built himself his own pillar to stand on top, and he lived there day in, day out without any shoes. Wolflake's pillar was outside of Trier in modern-day Germany. He was up there to preach, to try to convince people to stop worshipping Roman gods and to become Christians. Thing was, it was considerably colder in northern Europe than it was in Syria. He's shivering up there all winter, his beard is covered with all sorts of frozen snot, his feet keep freezing, and his toenails repeatedly fall off. So eventually the bishops watching all of this from the ground realize that what he's doing is going to be bad PR for the church. And they're like, Wolflake, you got to come down from up there. You're getting too cold. And he's like, nah, my faith is too strong. You can't make me come down. So eventually they talk up to him and they're like, hey, Wolflake, you got to come down. If there's an official church meeting, everybody's got to be there. Wolflake, being the obedient church servant, reluctantly comes down the ladder, goes to this sham meeting. And of course, while he was there, the bishops had organized to have the pillar taken down. Wolf Lake, the stylite, remained grounded for the rest of his days, but he did become a saint.
Man, that is so... I'm glad that he ended up becoming a saint. I know the process of becoming a saint can take some time. Even, like, I think Mother Teresa recently became a saint, at least a couple years back, like maybe 5 or 6 years. It was right around the day I got engaged when Mother Teresa became a saint. Regardless, yes, becoming a saint is a process. Wow, this must have been a crazy thing. Like, imagine, pillars. Could you do that today? Do you think any of your priests are ready to do this and just be like, yep, I'm going to live out here for a couple of years, maybe months, and do the things? I don't think anyone's going to be doing this in our modern time. And now I'm going back like, who are the modern day saints of our times? You know, when are we going to look back and be like, this person was a saint the entire time and we didn't know?
I'm the only one who thought the internet was up in the air and powered by satellites, because it's not. Satellites really have very little to do with our internet. And then they use words like cloud to make you really think there's a lot of information floating around up there. But the internet is coming from our ocean floors. I'm so worked up about this. Do you know what internet cables look like? I'm going to show you what internet cables look like. Our internet is giant cords connecting all of the continents together. Explain to me why this is so upsetting to see. I think this just exemplifies how silly humans are, because I fully believe in my heart of hearts that it makes more sense to have the internet floating around, booping about between satellites than at the bottom of the ocean. But regardless, I really only got into learning about the internet because people keep reaching out to me, telling me that they want to teach me how to get onto the dark web. Apparently that's where all the good stuff these corporations are trying to keep from us is hidden. And while I'm confessing my lack of knowledge of the internet, I really truly believe that the dark web was illegal to access at all. Family's telling me to stay far away, but like, can I go snooping on the dark web? Is that okay? Maybe I'm just embarrassing myself at this point, but I also didn't realize how much energy the internet uses.
Okay, there's a lot of misinterpretations of what she assumes the internet is. The internet is a collection of servers that communicate via cables, and those cables are across the world on our ocean floors. Everything there is accurate. I think she's a little misinformed saying, hey, I want the internet signals to be through satellites. I think she's confusing like Wi-Fi, like for satellite internet maybe. No, I'm not a big fan of satellite internet. It's actually quite slow. The data cables will get you better speeds than the actual air data transmission. So if you want that fast internet, you're going to be using the data cables. You talk to your ISP/fiber optic guys. They will get you the best. Interesting. At least she learned something new. Hey, are you learning something new? You want to know something? YouTube says you made it to this point. You're a goon. You may not call yourself a goon, but you're a goon. Hey, I need your help. Not for this video, but for the next video as well. Can you do us a favor? If you believe you are a goon and you want to do the goon things, next time you see a thumbnail of my video, watch the video. Watch the video for its entirety as long as you can in that segment. We're trying to get to 50% or more watch time on our videos. That seems to be propelling us in the algorithm, and it's more specifically the returning viewers that YouTube is drilling down on. So if you're going to be a returning viewer that does the goon things and watches the video a lot of the way through. I appreciate you guys. It is helping. It is definitely showing in the analytics. Without you goons, I would be nothing. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Please interact. It helps a lot.
So the astrophysicists are getting excited about something?
Literally minutes ago, they announced what the astronomers are so excited about, and it is so good. They're excited because they detected ripples in the fabric of space-time by observing really fast dead stars. Those ripples create a gravitational wave background. The study finds that the universe is literally filled with gravitational waves, some originating from the very earliest black holes in the universe and echoing ever since. So pulsars are the highly magnetized collapsed core of a dead star, and they spin incredibly quickly and incredibly regularly, usually dozens of times per second. So scientists all around the world, literally the entire globe, agreed to look at a bunch of these different pulsars with microscopic precision to see if they could detect any changes, and they did. They changed very minorly in a way that was consistent with the fabric of space-time itself rippling. Those ripples are gravitational waves. These gravitational waves are everywhere in the universe, causing everything to kind of slosh around like the ocean.
All right, I seen the credit here is from NASA. I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. Can't trust anything this agency says. You stop it. You stop it. Lady, you stop it. Very interesting. And then we just watched a video where Einstein's like, the Earth stopped moving and we needed to invent something, so I invented gravity in order to explain that the Earth is still rotational around a circular thing. And now you got gravitational planes and things. Everything not making sense, NASA. You need to figure your stuff out. We finding out the things. Things aren't adding up. Who's really up there? Is anyone up there? No one's up there. We're still locked in here.
You know there's something wrong with your food when even a rat won't eat it. A couple years back, we had a pet rat and his name was Graham. One of his favorite treats was scrambled eggs. We typically always have lots of eggs on hand, but sometimes we run out because we sell a lot of eggs. But my girlfriend really wanted some for Graham and for herself, so she went to the store and bought a dozen. Turns out she hated the flavor, but we thought surely the rat wouldn't mind. But long story short, even Graham wouldn't touch it.
I guess buy farm fresh eggs over store bought eggs if the rats won't even eat it. And what do? Like, they smell something that's like, this is completely chemicalized. Don't do it. Don't do it. But it's like, wow, what? How? What do they do in the egg process when they get to the stores? They're just like, what, bleaching the eggs, getting all the things off the outer shell. It doesn't impact what's in the inner shell, right? Is it the inner shell? Is it the egg itself? Or is it the chickens that the eggs are coming from? What's the thing that's causing the eggs to taste different for the rat? I'm just trying to figure it out. What makes the farms better? Is it the species of the chicken comes in? So many questions. Is it the brown eggs? Is it the white eggs? Was the color of the egg matter for the... Sorry, I'm spatting real hard.
Yo, y'all don't need to call 911. He's okay. Like,
how do you know?
Because I'm from New York, miss. Like, y'all blowing his high right now. He chilling right now. I swear to God, he good. He gonna be okay, miss. I promise.
Okay.
Yeah, he gonna be good, y'all. Just let him enjoy his high.
I mean, let him enjoy his eyes, but let's do the checks too. Hey, is he breathing? Hey, is he in a comfortable position? Okay, everything's all right. Maybe put a sign up and then continue on. Yeah, maybe, or let's just make sure first. You know, it almost seemed like everyone was far away assessing the situation and no one was near, seeing if the chest was moving, see if any telltale signs of life there, and that's the main concern for me, at least. I'm sure these guys were concerned because they probably were like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but this is not normal. Definitely is not normal. But yeah, he's enjoying his thing. He's definitely enjoying it. But at what cost? What cost? Do you see what you're doing? Do you see the situations you were causing? Nope. They don't care. They just want their next fix.
Blake is a reptile.
There's another thing. Human roots. Reptile guys. I mean... Do you like pizza?
Sometimes.
Me too, man.
Whoa.
Oh my God, you're so stupid.
It's crazy.
Bro, why would he say, do you like pizza? 100%. 100% reptilian. They're openly to tell us now.
I've got a record player that was made in 2014. Now my hair blue, came out of C6 sort of green. I like vintage dresses when they fall, just still on my knees. I pretend I scrape them, climbing in the trees.
I feel tricked. I don't know what just happened. I feel weird 100%. What did this lady do? Is this some kind of weird hypnosis thing? Why would the sound come out two different sides? And were you speaking English? I couldn't understand any words, but I felt like you were saying words. I have ADHD and this is an ADHD channel. What does this mean? What does this mean?
I got another theory. Who is Simon? You remember the game Simon Says, right? Simon says this and that. Who is Simon? Where he come from? Is it a he? Is it a she? Is it a it? I don't know who he is. I don't know what it is. Let's get to the theory of this Simon. So Simon says the game was introduced to the world in 1978. I never played it, but obviously you just press the button and it's supposed to tell you what to do, how to do it. Simon says this, Simon says that. I guess. But that's still not telling me who is Simon. It says here, Simon is a student of magic, occultism, and religion since the mid-1960s and the editor of the Necronomicon, if that's how you say it. What is that? Oh, hell nah. Now that book was created by some guy named H.P. Lovecraft. It's supposed to be a fictional book, but it also supposed to be the Book of the Dead. I mean, look at this dude. He already looks spooky as hell as it is. Anyway, he created this book in the early 1900s. The Gang Simon didn't come out until 1978. So that means they had to get that idea from that book. And this book's supposed to represent the Book of the Dead that's affiliated with witchcraft, sorcery, and all type of spells and evil practices. This is a spell book, and it's from Simon. The Gates of the Necronomicon from Simon. Wait a minute. Witchcraft, spells? Is this the same book they was using in the Hocus Pocus movie? Starting to make sense. They say Simon used to go on television shows and radio stations and talk to the people about Satanism, occultism, demonology, and exorcisms. But what happened to Simon? I can't find out one picture of him. Matter of fact, they say the man vanished off the earth in 1984. Straight disappeared. No sign of, never heard of again. This is where the theories come in at. So did Simon master the art of the Book of Darkness and turn himself into some unknown force and a dark entity and created the game so we can keep saying his name to cast spell upon us? Or we just playing a simple game of a man name that's associated with the devil?
Why does this happen to me all the time? Every time I'm like, why can't my childhood just be like, yeah, everything was fine? I actually like the game Simon Says. I was pretty good at it, but now Simon Says, don't play Simon Says. Don't play it. I didn't realize the origin. It's just like, what is it? Like London Bridges Falling Down, Ring Around the Rosies. Like, oh boy. They weren't tales at all. They weren't nursery rhymes. They were just horrible massacres that were just happening, and we made nursery rhymes out of it. Oh boy. This is dark. I did not know this origin of Simon, and now Simon Says don't play. Don't play it out.
I want to talk about something that me and Andy discovered today, and it is... Dude. It's messing with my head.
If you have a mirror and you place a piece of paper on that mirror, and then you stick an inanimate object that you can hold in your hand, and you stick it against the paper, and if you look from the side, will you be able to see what's behind the paper?
I think it depends on how far on the angle you are.
What we saw on TikTok was this girl holding up, like, was it like a can of Coke or something like that? She's seen it, and she holds it sideways, and I'm like, that's fake. And the person that duetted it, she does it, and then we see it, and we're like, okay, now we have to try
So
it.
you can see the object?
You
Watch
can.
this. Ready?
Up until the paper.
Here we go.
How does that make sense?
How does that work?
I don't know.
The mirror can't even see it.
It doesn't make sense in your brain.
It's showing in the mirror.
You're seeing it from the side. It's a refraction.
How does the mirror see around the paper?
That's what I'm saying.
Point of refraction is between the can and your eyes.
The story is making me nervous.
It trips.
Yeah, I feel like the guy with the refraction/reflection was spot on there. I have seen scientists explain this, and, I'm going to have to take their word because I'm not an expert in why mirrors do this, and I'm not an expert in mirrors at all, but they do say the mirrors are portals, so maybe that's why. That's why it's just another dimensional thing, and can does exist on both dimensions. You just got to figure out how to go through the mirror world. You don't know. Don't do any rituals with mirrors either. You stop it.
What happened to all the posts about the LA fires? Or is my For You page the only one that's jacked up? Ever since the TikTok ban, I have yet to see one post about the Los Angeles fires. And this is my second attempt to post about this because my other one got taken down. I find it very strange that some houses were reduced to ashes. Meanwhile, some trees and even vegetation that is around some of these houses, untouched by a fire that has consumed over 40,000 acres of homes. What kind of fire burns homes but doesn't burn trees and doesn't burn vegetation? I mean, somebody might argue, well, those trees are green, they weren't dead. When a fire is that intense, it will catch anything. Unless nothing was aimed at it. And this is just for informational purposes only, because I know TikTok's going to want to look at it and try to flag it again, but who knows?
Yeah, they 100% gonna flag it again. I'm sure when I try to watch this video tomorrow, it's gonna be gone. Yeah, the fires 100%. That algorithm has been lessened even for me. I don't get as much fire or active wildfires happening in CA type content anymore. So I think this guy's hitting on some valid points. That DEW is being fired up every single time just to cause those resets, so that way they can get their smart. Sorry, don't come after me. I'm just trying to figure it out. Oh man, I hope YouTube lets me keep this song, but it's like the I Think You're Crazy song. I think you're crazy. Yeah. So aluminum hats, I've seen this in my circles many a times. I am now a Faraday hat believer. So when I think aluminum, I didn't realize it also conducted electricity. Blah. What was I thinking? Maybe that's one of the reasons why those people can talk to the higher consciousness and aren't actually crazy. They're actually doing the things because they know they're in line and communicational with those interdimensional higher density beings, and without the hats they won't be able to communicate with them, while others are using that aluminum hat in order to prevent things from entering their brains. So hey, you do you. It does whatever purpose you need it to do, but there's better ways to wear the aluminum on your head without it being so evident. They now sell hats that have it, and it's embedded into the fabric, so no one will know. You look completely normal, but they don't know. They think you're normal, but you got all the protections. You're doing the protections with that Faraday stuff, and it's not just hats. They even got Faraday blankets. Like I got one for Emily, and it's a thing. It's a thing. I feel like it helps her.
Sitting here just smiling, looking up. So I turn around and try to see what the fuck he looking at, because he just smiling. I seen that scary movie. He is bruh.
Wait, nothing weird going on here. This is just a guy sun gazing and just doing the things. I think he's just trying to do that positive look. Maybe this is his, like, 5 minutes of sun gazing he needs to do, and then he resets. Maybe he doesn't even eat and he just gets all his food right from the sun. There are people like that out there that exist, they say, and I'm just like, what? Oh boy, imagine people trying to do this now. Yeah, I just stopped eating and I don't even drink water. I just, the sun gives me fuel. There were people like this. I've read.
I am 22 years old and I will be moving out of my mom's house this year. And I'm doing myself the favor, instead of throwing away money on rent, I'm gonna go get paid to live somewhere else. So let's talk about it. Basically what I want to be doing is buying a house with multiple units. I'm only gonna need 3.5% down because I'm using an FHA loan. My house is gonna have 4 units. I'm gonna live in one of the units and then I'm gonna rent the other 3 out. Let's say my monthly mortgage is $3,000, but I'm collecting $1,500 in rent from each unit, which equals $4,400, but my mortgage is only $3,000. So that's an extra $1,500 a month, plus I'll be living for free and gaining equity in a property, which I can later pull out as a home equity line of credit that I can use as a down payment on another multi-unit property, move out of the first home I bought, rent out the unit I was living in, make another $1,000 to $1,500, then move into the house I just bought, rent out the units in that house, use the rent to cover the mortgage plus more, build equity in the property and save money as I'm doing this, and then buy another multi-unit home and keep repeating that same process. And I'm going to keep doing this until I make enough passive income from that rental income to sustain my means of living.
Okay, yeah, this is fair, and I just want to give a caution of warning because this does not work for everyone. There are risks with this model that people do not account for. One, you will lose tenants, they don't pay the rent on time, something happens with them, 100%, you could miss your payments, and that puts you back, a couple months, and now you're so-called, trying to get your monthly expenses taken care of with passive income from rents. It may not work out if those rent money isn't coming in. If people aren't paying on time, you have hard time finding people to fill the units, or there's maintenance on the units. You now need to spend money for coming out of the rent, and even that $1,500 may not be enough to cover the repairs that are needed for the units because there's multiple things that you need to take care of for multiple units at a time. Hey, it can get quite cumbersome. It's not for everybody. Make your investments choices based on what you feel is good for your lifestyle. Just because it works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Interesting, though. But hey, there is some positivity here. Hey, you could have a chance to live on your own and not have burden on your parents, you know, if you choose to leave and rent out units, buy this multi-unit home and do the things. It is definitely a way out of your parents' house. We're going to do just one more to end them all.
I have a theory, and no one else is talking about this, and this could be totally insane, but hear me out. And this is purely for entertainment purposes. This is just my opinion, okay? What if all four of them are merging? As in, what if all four of them are merging? It's not that weird. It could be a possibility. Amazon has already integrated in some way or another with all three of those platforms. What if the app has to go dark as part of the integration? Where else did I read about four men coming together before everything goes dark? Something about horses. Can you guys help me out? Anyway, stay safe out there, guys. Remember to love one another. I love you.
All right, January 19th has came. January 19th has left. TikTok is still left unbanned. Hey, if there was a ban, it was very minimal. We're all still using all the things. Yeah, the Four Horsemen, is that what you're saying? Oh boy, you hidden some things here, some prophecies that were once told that may now happen in our life. Could be. I'm ready for it all. Hey, is Elon going to be the leader of them all, or are there no leaders and the four people are just going to do this all to us in one way? One way, right through our social medias, right through our phones, they found a way. Oh boy. And now I'm spiraling. Oh boy. Well, as of right now, we're still unbanned. Hey, I think it's going to be okay. I think these four are still going to start competing with each other to be the best at what they do. Hey, guess what? You made it to the end. How'd you do? There was a lot in this one. I completely understand if, like, Teddy, I don't know what to do with all this now. Hey, you don't need to worry. You let me do the worrying. You just keep doing the watching. There should be videos on the screen now. Click on either one of them. Continue the Goon Fix. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.